The final step in the May recon process is to compile the end-of-month cash balances, the outstanding reconciling items, and to see if we're in balance with the bank. First, open the VOGL Bank Recs May 31, 2021 XLX file. Go to the Operating Prior tab. Copy and paste the data to the Operating tab. I do paste special all. Now, in the Operating tab, change the date to May 31. Next, open the Trans Detail FSB and BSA May 2021 file. Go to the BSA Detail tab. Compile the ending balances in each fund. General Fund is here. Ending balance in column E, and then the balance is in column I. We just copy and paste that to the bank rec file. And repeat that for each of the funds. We have a new account in May, which is the restricted money for parking development. That's that $5,000 donation we received in May. And it earned a little bit of interest in May as well. So we've compiled the cash balances according to the general ledger in column G. Next, we want to go back to the bank rec file and go to the Operating tab and clear the in-transit transactions from April that were resolved in May. So remember, if it's got a reference number in column I, we can go ahead and clear the amounts from April. And I just reduce them to 0 because we're going to reuse these lines for the May numbers that are in transit in just a few minutes. And the outstanding checks that were cleared in May, I go ahead and erase them. Now be very careful not to clear any items that weren't resolved in May, because they'll continue to be outstanding at the end of May. So we won't erase this check for $20.13 because it's not resolved. Same thing with payroll. The first two have been outstanding for a while and they're still not resolved, so we can't delete them yet. But those that have been resolved in May, which means they were cashed at the bank or voided by Jennifer, then we can go ahead and delete those. Next, we're going to go back to the transaction detail file, and we're going to go to the register tab. Oh, excuse me. We're going to go to the BSA summary tab, and we're going to add the items from May that are in transit to the operating tab of the bank rec file. So remember, we know that the in-transit items in May don't have a reference number next to them. So here's an online payment made 5/26 for $195.05. We'll copy and paste that back to the bank rec file in the operating tab. But first, we need to change these April dates to May dates. And we need to add a couple of dates for May 26th. So going back to the transaction detail tab, the May 26th outstanding amount was $195.05. The May 27th number, $100.52. We can clear these from prior month. May 28th, $769.36. May 29th, $71.13. May 30th, $96.26. And May 31st, $426.78. Now we also had some in-person payments from May 31st, $4,316.46. They go here. And that should do it for the deposits in transit. Now we're going to go back to the transaction detail file and now go to the register tab, and any of the items in column L that say not yet, we're going to add those items to the bank rec file because they haven't been cashed yet, so they're considered outstanding. First one is check 18803. That's a payroll check. So we'll put him down here. Next one is an AP check for $50. Next is another AP check for $555. AP check for $35. Payroll check number 18854. And then the last one is another payroll check, 18859. And then the last step is to update the bank balance, which is in the transaction detail tab in the FSB column or tab. Daily ledger balance for the last day of the month, $558,486.55. Paste that over in the bank rec file in column H, row 5. And now we're going to go down to the adjusted totals row and see how we're doing. Adjusted totals are not the same. We're out of balance so far by $75.88, and that looks familiar. So let's go back to the detail file and the BSA summary file, and You might remember on May 27th, we had a note in the cash receipt file that said that this particular amount was reconciled by 2 items in the bank, but we had $75.88 in transit, so we need to add that back to the bank recon file. So that was May 27th. And that was a regular deposit. So add that as in transit. Go back to the adjusted row total, and they are the same. So we are in balance. We are complete with the bank rec. At this point, congratulations. We can print the completed bank reconciliation and the bank statement and forward them to the village manager. And if they're not the same, like we said, we missed something. Go back and revisit all the steps.